I was like, I think it's kind of like the perfect topic to help some of you guys. I think by now you all know that I'm very kind of like organized and taking care of time. And as I have to deal with a lot in the agency, I also have found myself in losing that time management that I always try to teach you guys. And I'm like, wait, I'm telling the guys to do this and I'm just not doing it myself, right? I think also it helps an example like when Esteban got Sophia. I think like he realized how time management really matters instead of just, like go with the flow and see what meeting do I have and so on. So I do think time management is like really important. Whenever we are in a startup company or like, an agency that is growing at such a fast pace, that you need to sometimes like sit down and be like, okay, what is that I need to do in order to move forward, right? Time management and what it is, it's an art of planning time and organizing activities efficiently, complete more tasks using available hours, and it's all about allocating time for different tasks based on priority. I wanted to show some of the benefits, and with that being said, like some of the benefits, it boosts your efficiency, improves your focus, less procrastination, which I think like we don't realize, but whenever we're not good with time management, we procrastinate a lot because you don't know where to start. So you're like, oh, I need to do this, but I will do it in a bit and then I'm just gonna jump. So you are all over the place instead of just working on one thing, right? Less stress and anxiety. I think Lena, myself, and many of you guys can relate to that. Improve self-discipline, deliver work on time, and get more work done. I wanted to mention something with time management is that us in the backend side, maybe it was like a month ago or a month and a half, we had a meeting where we were like, okay, we're gonna try to do everything different this week, where we're gonna be applying different methods of seeing if we're able to complete all of the tasks that we have to done. For the first time in maybe 1.5 years, we were able to complete everything that we set in our to-do list. That was me, Chris, and Lena, right? That has never happened before, but I think if we didn't put the time of saying, what is that we're failing, what is that we need to do better, how we're gonna be doing it, that wouldn't have happened. So time management showed to us that it can be done. It's just a time of like us making it happen, right? Some of the time management skills, so we have goal settings, planning, prioritizing, scheduling, organizing, delegating, and saying no. If we want to grow, we have to start delegating. And I put myself in that perspective. I think you have noticed as well that sometimes I'm like, oh, I can take care of it. But I have like 30 other things that I have to do. And it's just the fact, and someone once told me, the reason that you're not delegating is because you think you're the best at doing it. So you're being like selfish, thinking like someone else cannot do it. And it can, like I always think about that when I'm like, wait, I know that they can do it too. Like it doesn't have to be me. So it's really important. But for time management, also something that Laura mentioned is like, sometimes she knows she keeps herself organized, but she doesn't know where to start. She wants to do everything at the same time. And that's what happens to many of us, which is multitasking. Who considers that multitasking is part of time management? I do it myself. Sometimes we are in a meeting and I'm sending Slack messages. And then when you go back to the meeting, you were like, oh, what were we talking about? Or you asked me a question and I'm like, wait, I'm sorry, can you repeat yourself? It's because I was like thinking that I could do both, but in reality, I don't. So it's pretty common, we all do it, so it's normal. Now, is it good? Exactly. Based on research, you lose 40% of your time when you multitask. 40% of your time goes. We were like doing so many things at once that we mess up really bad. All of us. So that just proved my point of saying, Esteban is like, I'm gonna kill you guys. Every time that he remembers about it, like but that's just, I have to play. But what about you? Don't you feel like you're good at multitasking?
I'm so bad.
You're bad at multitasking.
Yes. So multitasking is not a good thing.
It's not a good thing. It's not true. You're actually not multitasking. Your focus is only on one thing, thinking that you're actually doing both, right? And you're losing time. So when multitasking takes an average of 23 minutes and 50 seconds to get back to the task. So let's say like you're doing something and two things at the same time. Your brain will take 23 minutes to focus once again in the main task that you were doing. So you're actually losing time, energy, and like and I think we talked about, maybe like I think it was last week, what I was saying, like sometimes I'm working on something and then I'm sending a message and I completely lose focus on what I was doing. So I will be showing some techniques that we've been applying, and I've been doing it as well, that has helped me a lot. Now, there is a common term, it's called neuroswitching, which is used to describe the disorganization of the neurological system that creates confusion in your brain. That's what multitasking does with your brain when we're doing everything at the same time. But multitasking normally goes related to doing two things at the same time, like either taking notes and like doing something else, or like there's many examples that we can put into place, but the reality is that your brain doesn't work that fast. It will take them 23 minutes for you to go back to what you were thinking, and we may lose track, or you may even lose the flow of what you were doing just by doing multitasking, right? Now, some of the recommendations that we've been applying, it's been working. And before I go into this, I wanted to share with you guys how important it is and how we don't notice. And it also kind of goes related to many of your guys' presentation, right? Like taking care of your mental health and like not burning yourself out. I think it was April. It was a really hard month for me, like really, really hard, to the point that I'm not gonna lie, it got to the end of the month, I told Esteban, I can't anymore. Like I cannot do this. I have so many things on my plate, like I can't hold it. I'm feeling like overwhelmed, I feel burned out. And then, he was like, hey, calm down, like, what he would normally do. And I sat down that night and I was like thinking what is that I was doing and what I didn't do. And I completely noticed that my time management that month sucked. It was really bad. Like I didn't took proper care of prioritizing. I was not delegating. I was saying no. Like there were many things that guys were coming to me and we will take care of it. When in reality, I couldn't. So that just showed me in person, and I'm hoping that it helped you guys as well, that time management is super important. Also, I want to put Esteban as an example. When he was without Sophia, he will feel like he was working and he was being, like super productive and all of it. And then Sophia came, she cleaned his calendar, and we had a conversation where he brought up, he's like, I feel like I'm working way more now. And in reality, he was just being more productive. He was taking care of time management. He was being able to finish task and then move to the next one, when before he was just like jumping around everywhere. So he would never finish something up. So that just show you like how managing your time the proper way can even make you being more productive. Because like sometimes we're like, oh, I did so much, I'm so productive. And when you go check your list, you didn't finish any of it. Like all of them still have something pending. So meaning, oh, I work more, or I put more time, it doesn't mean that you're being productive. So you have to go with time management and of course like many other things. But some of the recommendations that they normally show us for time management, they have the sequential tasking, which is working on one thing to a good stopping point and then move to the next one, right? So you're working on something, then you're like, okay, I think I already finished the first step of the first part. I can move to whatever is next. Maybe you have a meeting, maybe you have to jump into another thing. You can do it that way, right? We have, I still cannot say that word, but that matrix, which is based on that little table that we have there, which is kind of like categorizing your task based on important and urgent, important and not urgent, not important but urgent, and then not important but not urgent. So it's kind of like putting all your tasks and what is that you have to do, and that way you're able to see, because many times we do a to-do list, but we really don't know which one will go first. And I think it has happened in many of our meetings where we don't know what should be urgent or, like regular or whatever has not a priority. Like we wonder, okay, what is more important? Like this client, I don't know, like it's not getting leads, but this one is, I don't know, like which one should we go first? So like this would just show you how to put things in perspective, right? Then we have another one that is called Get Things Done, GTD, which is you capture, you collect what has your attention, you clarify, you do, decide, and trash, because many things we think like it's important, but in reality, it's not. Then we organize. I think it goes like what we have talked many times, you organizing yourself and put it where it belongs. Reflect, which is reviewing frequently, and engage, simply do. So not procrastinating on not doing it, right? And then the Pomodoro technique, which is the one that we've been applying, I can be better at it, and I think you too, right? Chris, in the other hand, she's been doing it, and I don't know if you guys have noticed, but she even put a status on her Slack with a little tomato. That's the Pomodoro. So she silences all her notifications for 25 minutes. But it's basically, you know, working by 25-minute stretches and focus only on that, and then taking a 5 minutes break. So you can kind of like relax, and then you go back to your 25 minutes. As I'm saying, I asked Chris, I was like, hey, how's that been working for you? And she feels like she has been able to accomplish way more. The fact that she put her notifications silent, and that's something that in the back end most likely happens, is that we're working on something and any of the CSMs or closers or Esteban, they send us message and we try to jump right immediately. That is not good for us. Like, it's the multitasking part that we were talking about. So by doing this and silencing our notification, to Chris specifically, it has been improving, and even we can see it in the way of working. Less errors, that's for sure, because she's completely focused on one thing. And we already know that Chris is like really fast in implementation. Well, this is helping her way more than she was already. So this just shows how good and important it is to put it into perspective. At first, you want to do it 4 times, right? You do four 25 minutes and then 5 minutes break. And as you go, you will be increasing that time. And of course, it will depend on the type of task. So you may have to see which out of these recommendations will go more with your role. Okay. For backend, we for sure know that Pomodoro is the one that we have to follow, because we're working on workflows, or we're working on creating a SAP or what. So it takes a lot of us to be completely focused, because if not, it can happen the mastermind situation, right? But maybe for CSMs, that may not work. Maybe for you guys have to get things done, or, you know, like use the table right there. We have talked, because when I brought up this technique to the girls, their first question was like, what if Esteban sends a message, right? Because we tend to like, oh, if Esteban sends a message, we have to reply right away. It's not something that it just came just like that. Of course, I have my conversation with Esteban. I was like, hey, we're applying this. We're going to be pausing our notification. It's important for us to be adding in so the rest of the team knows where is that we at and when we're going to be back. So it's just like the fact of putting ourselves and letting the team know, hey, I'm going to be working on this. I will be back in 25 minutes and I can take care of whatever we have to. But that will help you with your planning, with your organization, with whatever you guys have to do. So it is really important. I really hope that you guys apply. Once again, I know like I have had many meetings with many of you, with others I haven't. But for me, organization and time management is really important. It has helped me get to the point where I am right now, and also have helped me organize. And I think having someone that is in the operations manager, when you have to be like in a little if you think about it, like I'm everywhere at the same time. Without my time management or like keeping track of what else that I'm doing, I won't be able to. Like, it will be way too crazy. So I just really hope that you guys kind of like take care of time management, start applying it. If you guys need like how we can put into perspective based on your role with the recommendation, we can also have meetings one-on-one and, you know, like go over it. But it's really important. So hope that you guys learn that. And then thank you.